Pokemon Black finale, I think. There's not a whole lot left to do. I am now officially the champion, but there's still a little bit of post-game left. It is interesting that this game pushes the champion fight to the post-game. Obviously, that's unique in the series. Unless I'm forgetting something. I'm pretty sure it's unique in the series, and it's probably for the best that it not be the usual thing. I mean, the classic Pokemon formula involves you become the champion and then the credits roll. But doing this as a one-off, in a way, kind of gives it some extra weight. And of course, it also gives extra weight to the battle against N, which fills in as the big climactic battle at the end of the main story. I feel like I said this before, also, you could kind of say transitive property, N beat Alder, you beat N, but you're not... I'm pretty sure you're not officially the champion until you've beaten Alder. But it really does kind of make the N battle special. There's a reason it's one of the most memorable... Well, there are multiple reasons that it's one of the most memorable clashes in the whole series, but I think its placement in the story is one of them. And yeah, not actually facing the official champion until you've gone through the post-game and really toughened up your team against some tough opponents. There's something to be said for that. But I wouldn't want them to do it every game. I think it works really well here. It's kind of interesting thinking about... You know, I think between recording sessions about some of the design choices in this game, Black and White are very much... they were sort of a soft reboot for the series, right? That's something that I and others have talked about many times. At least that was how we interpreted it at the time. But, I mean, the original fans, people like my age, had kind of come of age when Black and White came out. I was, like, 19, playing this game for the first time. They were probably trying to pull in a new generation of fans. It was the first region outside of Japan, so that explains some of the choices that they made. Like, you can interpret the regional Pokedex only thing as we're so very far away now. We're going to show a whole new ecosystem. We've talked about that and how that's influenced Pokemon design choices before, but it does also kind of feel like there's an intentional effort to bring new fans into the series with these games, which makes sense considering the timing of them, and also kind of lands better than other efforts they've made to do the same kind of thing in later games. At least I think it does. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a new player, right? I can't really see through the eyes of a new player perfectly, but these games kind of stand on their own, and they bring new people in a pretty effective way. I'm not one to complain about so-called Kanto pandering. I'm one of those older fans. I enjoy it, but they definitely showed in Black and White how effective it can be to step away from that. And you can see a lot of sort of that new player... not new... Sort of... You can see a lot of sort of that new beginning for the series that they were half cooking up here in even just the progression of the important battles, right? Like, the first gym is that weird fire, water, grass trio gym that really drills into your head. The rock, paper, scissors triangle that is the basic way that so many of us learn the type chart. Start to learn the type chart anyway. Then we get normal, the most generic basic type for the second gym. Then bug, the cozy early game type. It's not until the fourth gym that they add a little bit more spice to it with electric, but even then, electric, kind of the fourth special elemental type that's often grouped with grass, fire, and water, adds a little bit more of a kick, but still well within the realm of comfort. Then we get things a little bit more, that are a little bit more interesting, right? With ground, and then flying, and then ice. Pokemon love their late game ice gyms for some reason. And then Dragon, one of the most awesome, celebrated, powerful types, especially in Gen 5 when the Fairy type didn't exist yet, and Dragon pretty much was the best type. Not least because Dragon types tend to have high stats. Make the last gym something special. Then the Elite Four all have types that are, you know, kind of interesting ones you wouldn't expect to run into in the early game a lot of the time. Ghost, Dark, Psychic. Types that have a little bit more of a mysterious quality to them. And also fighting. Fighting is not necessarily fitting the same profile, but fighting is, I think, important to balance out this Elite Four, right? Because they're very weak to your own dark types, barring Marshall. And then the champion with mixed types, although half his team are bug types. I've never been sure what I make of that. It's an interesting progression. Fits neatly into the pattern of, again, that kind of... I don't know if soft reboot is the right way to put it, but what seems very much like the games were designed to be an entry point for new players. But at the same time, they told a bolder and more interesting story than they'd ever done before, and it all builds to that clash with N that is so memorable for a lot of reasons, but in part because it's so uniquely placed within the context of the series. It also helps that N is one of the best characters in the series, and the legendary dragon clash is kind of forced, and I'm certainly not complaining about that. I have more to ramble about, but let's go actually do some stuff instead of standing here forever. What's on this TV? It's a flat screen television that Whoa! It's a flat screen television that Dad bought. The black and white protagonist has a dad? Now that's a whole other... I think Ruby and Sapphire are still the only games where your dad actually appears, right? Or, you know, the Hoenn games generally, also Emerald and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. A mention of Dad. Wow, that's really something. I wonder where he is. They don't tend to tell us, though. A Wii console. Really placing these games in their time. A bed. The sheets smell great because Mom just washed them. Nice. Nice and cozy for the champion, but I've got more adventures to have now. Moves for living. Bestow. Our guest expert is Dr. Technic Al-Machine. Okay. Alright, a professor at Castelia University. Castelia University? What? Why can't I go explore there? Hello, I'm Dr. Al-Machine. Bestow is a very generous move where you pass an item to the target. There's an effective use for this move in everyday life. Sometimes you receive a gift that will clearly cause trouble, right? You can use this move right away too. No, actually, you'd better wait until the person who gave you the gift has left. Then you can use the move to pass your unwanted gift off to someone else. I see, I learned a lot. Well then, everyone, until next time, goodbye. I had to bring on a university professor with a gimmicky name to explain. Re-gifting 5 Pokemon moves. Also, I don't know why you need to use a move to re-gift. I missed a lot of gold on these TV screens on like every other playthrough I've ever done of this game. There's some good stuff there. And I just happened to glance at a TV in this playthrough and see it. Anyway, yeah, I've waited until spring. We've looped back around here, and that's because we started in spring, we're ending in spring. That's because I've one Deerling form left to catch still. Driftvale City is what I want. Maybe I should have gone and admired the cherry blossoms on Route 1 again, but we've seen them. They're pretty, though. Oh? Wallpapers were added to commemorate my victory against the champion. How about that? Can't show them to you, though, so not going to bother with them at all. I'll just clear a spot in my party. Forgot I bought a Magikarp last episode. Love that they brought the Magikarp salesman back in a game where Magikarp is actually rare. I don't know, maybe you can fish it up somewhere in the post-game, but I feel like I remember from when these games were new that Magikarp was actually rare. That might be the only one. You're certainly not getting it in the main story. Care about running in the grass because there's an encounter that I'm looking for anyway. Oh, I did have one other thing in my notes to ramble about, which is that one unfortunate thing, especially with the Elite Four, it's not as big a deal with the gym leaders, is that unlike in Gen 1, they were actually strict about those trainers sticking to their specialty types in this game, and that does make the Elite Four teams a little bit bland and one-dimensional. It's also not great that they have 4 Pokemon only in their first battles, though that does improve quite a lot in your actual champion run in the postgame. But that initial round of battles, I mean, Marshall has 4 pretty similar physical fighting types. Caitlyn has a few psychic type blobs and a Sigilif. I think they did well at choosing the types. Again, those good, mysterious, powerful types with fighting to balance things out, but the teams themselves come out a little rough because they're limited to all Gen 5 Pokemon, and unlike in Gen 1, they're limited to only using their specialty type. Maybe it's for the best that they be limited to only their specialty type, but yeah. Not the greatest Elite Four teams, but again, that is kind of fixed by the fact that you make the actual champion run in the post-game, and they have teams of 6 with more variety. Caitlyn's got that Metagross now, and whatnot. Anyway, would I please show him what Deerling looks like now? I certainly would. Deerling's spring form. The luster of its body and its coloring is like a flower field in the spring. The scent emanating from it is also very floral. Thank you so much. I want to go catch my own Deerling right away. Is he not... Do I not get anything for that? Let me see. He'll go catch a Deerling. Let me see if... This guy's got 4 Deerling now. Look at them. These two are playing. Spring and fall forms. Together in harmony. And having a lot of fun from the looks of it. This one's curious. It's helping out with the scientific research. Very helpful. This one's just kind of hanging out, I guess. Oh, it's you! Thanks to you, we've caught all of the forms of Deerling. Now we can thoroughly study the relationship between Pokemon, seasons, and climate. Thank you very much. It isn't much, but please accept this. Okay, yeah, Leaf Stone is a little bit of an underwhelming reward for all that, but... You know what? Seeing all these Deerling having fun in this lab and knowing that I've contributed to science is its own reward. This is the only place in the world where you can see Deerling's 4 seasonal forms all at one time. They've kind of become our mascots. Heck yeah. These two are still not getting tired out. They're very silly, as you can see. But now, we'll leave that lab to its important work, with Winter Deerling helping, of course. And next up is Castelia City. Not Castelia University, I don't know where that is. We cannot visit Professor Technic Al-Machine, but there is someone else to visit in here. Very important. Let's get St. John's back in the party first. It doesn't really matter, but let's move this Deerling box to... Let's move this Deerling to the Deerling box so that it can also play with its friends. Here are its friends. Maybe Deerling has to get into a battle to change forms seasonally, but I'm not going to check. It's neat that I have all 4 lined up in the PC there. Now, one very important errand to do here in Castelia City. I think I've gone the wrong way, actually. I think I want to be on the very furthest street from the one that I went to. I think I was going to the gym by mistake there. There we go. Game Freak headquarters. Hi, Zorua. I still don't have an event, Selby, to persuade you to join my party. There you go. That's the only place you can get Zorua in this game. The only way. Remember this guy? I think he said something about battling me if I became strong. And now he says, oh, you've become strong. I can tell. Do you want to have a battle with me? And I do. So let's begin. Game Freak Morimoto. His first appearance, I think, in the series as an NPC you can battle, but he's in other games too. I think he's in the Alola games and Galar. I don't know if he's in Paldea. I don't know if he's in Kalos either. But yeah, I think he's in at least 3 generations as an NPC optional post-game battle. Anyway, I didn't remember what he would lead with. It's Liepard. I'll just switch out to Red Deer. Maybe I get a justified boost. And he just starts the fake out. It's okay. It crits, but I mean, I barely noticed. I do get a justified boost anyway. This guy made these games and he's still playing into my hands there. Maybe he's just confident. There goes Liepard. Level 75 Pokemon, by the way. No wonder he's confident. Simi's here. He has all 3 monkeys, I remember that. Let's throw Steinbach at this. Halifax is an option too, just for taking those fire attacks extremely well, but Steinbach hits harder back, I would think. Oh, doesn't take the attacks quite as well though. Let's go for a Surf. And get KO'd by Crunch. Don't know if the crit mattered. Alright. Back to our ringer. Yeah, the crunch doesn't do too much. Dragon Pulse does a lot, however... Oh, it's not a recovery berry, it's a Paya berry, so it'll get a special attack boost, which doesn't help it if it's using Crunch. It gets another crit though, so that does help. But we still took down the Simis here. Striker, I think this is his ace. Level 77, yeah. The rest of the team's at 75. Let's try a switch out to Charlottetown. I thought he might use Pursuit there. I don't know if he has it or not. But yeah, Electric Immunity plus Intimidate is pretty good into this. Just go straight for Giga Impact. That's scary. That did a lot of damage at -1. Wow. And this is a Zebstrika. It's not like it's a crazy strong Pokemon, but it does have a 22 level advantage, I suppose. I'm down to heal here, because if he goes for Giga Impact again, I can knock it out on the recharge turn. Zebstrika is one of my favorite Gen 5 Pokemon. It's a really cool design. So, I don't know how Morimoto's team was chosen, but I like this a lot for his ace. He also has a Fire, Water, Grass core with the 3 monkeys, and then an Electric type ace. Classic. Anyway, that's half his team beaten. Here's Simipour. I don't remember what moves it has, but I sure hope my starter's up to the job. How did Toronto get to level 66 when that's like 10 more than some of the rest of the team? What was I doing? Spamming coil setup, I guess? Obviously, it's been a little while since the last episode because I waited until in-game spring, so some things are not completely fresh in my mind, but I do think I spammed a lot of coil against the Elite Four, didn't I? Anyway, this is going for physical attacks, so with the double recovery and +1 defense next turn, I might take another hit. That is a lot of recovery. Kind of taking advantage, I guess, of a significant level difference, although it's only 9 levels this time, not 22. Crits, okay. That's what, 3 now in this battle? That one was pretty well timed for him. I'm just gonna sack Charlottetown to revive Toronto and get right back to it. Why not? I don't remember what his last Pokemon is, though. I know he has a Simisage in the back. I think there might be a Swoobat. So sacking Toronto might backfire, or sacking Charlottetown might backfire a little bit, but we'll see. Can deal with it, if so. Let's try this again. +1. You gonna crit me again? Not this time. If I do see a Swoobat, maybe I just Leaf Blade it if I've gotten a lot of boosts. +2. +3. Payback is really not doing much damage. I don't think the Surf will either. At least it hits my unboosted stat. That did a fair bit. But nothing too crazy with the recovery that's coming the other way. +4. Went back to Payback. I don't think that was a great choice. Loving what a superior showcase this series has turned into. Another Potato Berry. Okay. That Surf will actually kind of hurt now. But anyway, +5. Of course, contrary, Terra Stellar Superior and Scarlet and Violet was the focus at the early end of this year. But Oil Superior is certainly getting its day. Plural days now. Let's go to +6. Obviously, Coil would be very, very bad with Contrary. Could you imagine? Lowering my own attack, defense, and accuracy all at once. What kind of madman would? Why does that feel like a Reg H team idea? I don't think it is. I don't think it would even be good content. Anyway, going to Giga Drain now to maximize recovery. If I'm wrong about what his last Pokemon is, or if this Woobat just doesn't take a Leaf Blade well, then this could be a superior sweep the rest of the way. And another Giga Drain will knock out Simipour and get me to full. Let's just do it. Should at least get a lot of damage into the next Pokemon, whichever one it is. And it is Swoobat. This whole team is also early game Pokemon from this game, which I'm sure is an intentional choice in when they were putting the team together. Yeah, that just one-shots. Yeah, big fan of Substrike as the ace. And Toronto outsped the Simipour, so I'm guessing it'll outspeed the Simisage as well. Get a bit of leftovers recovery first. But what's Simisage going to do? Acrobatics into +6 defense while it still has its berry, presumably. It is actually faster, or at least it goes first. We're faster than the Simipour, so that's what surprises me a bit. I actually don't know whether the monkeys have identical stats, but I certainly think they do. Anyway, it doesn't take a Leaf Blade. GG Morimoto. After all, I am the strongest and greatest. Just kidding. You think about battles very thoroughly. If you say so. Not as thoroughly as some, but much appreciated, buddy. I lost, but I learned a lot from you. Besides, it was fun. Come back again tomorrow. Be happy to take him up on that, but I think the series will be over tomorrow. That was fun, though. Now, a couple more things to do. It starts with a quick flight over to Undella Town, all the way on the east coast of the region. And I'm gonna heal the team. Gonna make a quick Pokemon swap that I'll explain in a little bit. And then, well, little bit more rambling to do. Because I made a list of things to look up. Actually meant to go through this last episode and I forgot. Just little bits of lore and stuff that came up along the way. First is Challenger's Cave. I did a little bit of digging to see if there was any particular legendary Pokemon connected to that place, and nothing came up. Bulbapedia just mentions there's talk of a legendary Pokemon training its student there, but there's no legendary Pokemon there. Now, my interpretation, playing this the first time, is I thought that was probably Cobalion training Keldeo. Cobalion lives in a cave. Keldeo is something of a student to the other three. Cobalion is sort of the leader of the three, so that would seem to be the one. Be Terrakion. But you know, that kind of fits the profile. And there are other areas around the region, like Pledge Grove in Black 2 and White 2, and the Moor of Icyrus, that have those legendaries tied to them. It seems like they traveled around a lot. But, so I do like the Cobalion Keldeo interpretation, but I actually also like it as just a vague symbolic thing. That this is a place for intense training. And that there's a story behind it that doesn't quite necessarily lead anywhere. You never quite necessarily get all the details. I don't know whether that was what was intended by Game Freak. They might well have intended something that they ended up scrapping in that location. Who's to say? It does have kind of an unknown dungeon feel to it, and the classic Pokemon unknown dungeons have Mewtwo at the end. I don't think they put Mewtwo in this game, but maybe they were working on something. Maybe they weren't. Maybe it is just sort of open-ended. But I think it's kind of nice. Pokemon has a lot of legends in its lore, and many of them turn out to be true, and fans kind of slide easily into assuming that all of them are literally true. I think it adds a little bit more flavor to the world, though, to have a legend that doesn't really have a clear answer to it, that doesn't necessarily come true in a way that we can very literally place our fingers on, but it's just kind of symbolic and speaks to the lore of a little pocket of this region. One thing I think they did really well with Unova is it has all these little pockets with their own flavors, their own characters, their own stories. It fits the themes of the game very nicely, and it's also just very vibrant and interesting region design. I think Challenger's Cave fits in pretty neatly, even though whatever legend there is to it, there's not a lot there. I think it's kind of good that there is a lot there, is what I'm saying. In Pokemon, there often is a lot there. But it adds some variety to have a place where it isn't. Where there isn't. And hey, I battled Sean, and that was certainly memorable. And I was sort of the student training under the veteran there, trying to surpass him. I think interpreting the legend as just something symbolic is a pretty solid way to look at it, although I think the Keldeo Cobalion interpretation also fits. I think it's neat that we don't get a full answer. I wrote down Kyurem Meteor in my list of things to look up. I don't know what I was cooking with that. The idea of Kyurem coming from a meteor. Hard to say how that fits into the broader lore. And hey, it doesn't have to be literally true, right? Kyurem could have chosen an impact site to live for some other reason. Maybe there's not an impact site. Maybe that's where the dragon split and a bunch of energy blew a hole in the ground. Although I think there probably is an impact site considering how many space-themed Pokemon appear in that area. Who knows? I wrote down illegal Wormadam moveset in my list of things to write down. There is one. That one NPC that I talked about does have a Sandy Cloak Wormadam that knows Leaf Storm. We just didn't see it in this playthrough, but I remembered seeing it before. Abundant Shrine dialogue. Those kids arguing about the legendary Pokemon at the Abundant Shrine. Bulbapedia says the first time you go there and see the shrine, you encounter that cutscene. I could swear that there were times that I went for the first time and it didn't happen, but I don't know what, if anything, is the deal with that. Maybe I'm confused. Black City. I wondered why it was so empty and dead, right? I was pretty sure I remembered a somewhat more bustling Black City in my first playthrough. Even the market that appears at a certain population is there. I don't know exactly. I didn't deep dive into the mechanics of Black City in Pokemon Black, and it's different in Black 2, but basically I think it's population. It has a dynamic population. Its population declines, and buildings come and go with it. Well, if it's declining, then the buildings go as time passes and you do nothing to Increase the population. I think you increase the population by connecting to other games, Entralink, and recruiting people. Something like that. I don't know. I didn't look closely into it. But apparently, Black City's initial population, I figured it just starts high and then declines over time if you do nothing. That was certainly what I saw in my first playthrough when the market was there and everything. But apparently, its initial population is determined by how many days it takes you to get there from when you start your playthrough. And so no wonder Black City was so empty and honestly kind of a letdown in this playthrough because, of course, I started this in January and it's September now. It was August when I first got there. I stopped playing for months. That's a lot of time for Black City to decline, I guess. And the last thing I wrote down to explore more is the Abundant Shrine, because looking up lore around that... Sorry, not the Abundant Shrine, that is on the list, but I meant the Abyssal Ruins. Looking up lore around that, I found some tips on how to actually navigate it better. And also a bit of lore. I'm going to take at least one crack at the navigation method that Bulbapedia gave to me. I never have tried it before, I've never looked up. Never done more than just fumble blindly around in there like I did the first time in this playthrough, but apparently independent of what entrance you take. There are multiple levels to it, just as it appears when you're going in. Oh, I almost forgot to move forward there. Oh, I can move to the side too. Just a tiny bit. Independent of what entrance you take, what you're supposed to do apparently is turn every time you get to an intersection that's a prime number. I said that badly. Count the intersections as you go through them and turn on each prime number is apparently the tip. So let's give it a go. Every time you have a choice to turn. So I have no choice here, so it doesn't count. No choice here. No choice here. I did take an extra step there that I shouldn't have. This is the first one. I don't remember whether it matters which way I turn. Oh, I don't turn here anyway because 1 isn't a prime number. Never mind. But this is the second one, so I do turn here. Third one, turn. Fourth, don't. Fifth, do. Am I doing it right? Sixth, don't. 7th, do. 8, no. 9, yes. That's led me here. Okay, I'm just gonna end this run and try again. I think I did something wrong. I guess I don't really know what I'm looking for, which is also an issue. Let me just get this item and do another run of it. What's here? Text. We'll talk about that too. But yeah, I'm bailing on this run because I think I messed it up somehow. Can I get this item? Yep, I have enough steps left for that. It's a fist plate. Got a meadow plate too. So many plates. Implied Arceus connection, or just a lot of ancient relics in this location? Probably the latter, right? Anyway, about to be washed out of here. I was on my way back to an entrance there. Turn on the 2nd, 3rd, 5th, and 7th. I think I did also turn on 8 or 9, didn't I? Which is definitely not a prime number either way. I don't know what I did. Going again. I also don't really know what I'm looking for to get to the next level, like I said. No choice. No choice. No choice. First. Second. Third. Fourth. Fifth. Sixth. Seventh. There's no choice. Eighth. I turned here, didn't I? 9. 10. Ah, yeah. That opens up. Okay. I can climb up here. Okay, there we go. Now I believe it's the same thing on the other floors, so I'm tempted to go get that item, but I want to get as far as I can here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dead end. What did I do wrong this time? Let's just explore, I guess. I'll give it at least one more go. But hey, this was progress of a kind. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not really any others to worry about. Use a few extra steps there, but it's probably fine, right? Second floor. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dead end. Am I miscounting somehow? You know, I think I'm gonna try a different entrance. Maybe something about this one just isn't clicking for me. Let's try a different entrance. I like band. That's a new one. Let's go here. Does it even matter, or do I just go to the same place on the second floor anyway? Probably do, don't I? Oh well. Here we are. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna say those don't count. 4, 5, 6, 7. This one's way more confusing. Maybe I don't entirely know what counts as a corner and what doesn't. I'm gonna go back to the other entrance. I think it's gonna be the same on the second floor anyway. I didn't really expect to spend this long on this. Hey, here's an entrance. I think that's the one I did earlier. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Too late. 5, 6, 7. Going back to that one. Am I just really bad at this somehow? Must be. I do believe this is my first time ever following this method and ever actually... might be my... I think it's probably my first time ever getting to the second floor of the Abyssal Ruins, so... bear with me, I guess. One, 2, 3, 4. That part came more quickly than usual. I must have taken some extra steps. Anyway, 5, 6, 7. Oh. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dead end. Ah! You're frustrated. One second. What am I doing wrong? Oops. I'm looking at the wrong window. That's why I was looking at OBS instead of the game. That was why the controls weren't working. Okay. I'm looking at a map now. Let's see if I can puzzle this out. Up there. What am I trying to get to? Feels like I might be going to the right place, but it's just not opening. On the map, that sure looks like it would be the right place. Is there something else I have to do? Oh. You need flash and strength to get all the way through. I guess I didn't read that part. All you Abyssal Ruins experts are probably pretty frustrated. Oh, let's go make some more party swaps. Oh. I'm pretty sure I was going to the right place, I just needed to use flash there. The one time I don't use a repel, and it's an encounter like every 2 steps, by the way. I thought this would be a short episode. It's still going to be shorter than some. Okay. Moose Jaw the Chandelure knows Flash. Who knows Strength? Montreal the Boldor. Which Boldor is that? This one. Okay. One more time. Let's go. It's not like I'm doing anything else with these repels anyway. Here we go. I'm ready. Let's do this. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh. Not this time. Must be uncomfortable for a Chandelure to... What do I do now? Pop out underwater. Okay. Good. Guessed right. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I use strength here. Must also be uncomfortable for a Boldor to pop out deep underwater. I did it, folks. 4th floor. Just needed to know about those out-of-battle moves, and I made it. Relic crown. Rarest item in the whole ruin. Shall we talk about the text? It has been translated. Bulbapedia. Not quite exactly all of it has been translated, but great majority. Bulbapedia is our friend here. First floor text. Listen to the king's words. Primes lead to truth. That, of course, is telling you to turn on prime numbered intersections. King is brave. King never loses hope. King is kind. King has a dream. King is adventurous. King accepts all. King turns second corner. King turns third corner. King turns fifth corner. King turns seventh corner. Really spelled. Sorry about that. My computer had a fit mid-recording, and among other things, the recording stopped. That was weird. I think I got to King turns seventh corner. They're really spelling out there how you navigate the place, but only if you can read the writing. Have the heart of a king. Here we praise king. King's light shines. King moves his people. King acts with love. King fought hatred. No king gets lost. Go on, brave king. Go on, brave king is the last message if you get to that central pillar quickly enough and get through there. People are praising their king. I think there is a story, some lore about the ruins having been wrecked by a tsunami and the king evacuating the people, but going down with them. With the ruins, not with the people. The people got out, is the point. Second floor. Life is gratitude. Eating is receiving life. Good or evil isn't all. Do not be barbaric. One must not waste. All is precious. Wars create tears. Shine if agreed. That's all pretty, philosophical. I can see the Seven Sages saying some of that stuff, but shine if agreed is the last one, and that's where you use flash. Signaling agreement with their values, I suppose, to be allowed passage further in. Third floor. King talks to all beings, saved all from waves. There it is. King is hope for all. Think, act with love, act strong if agreed. Act strong is the last one. You use strength there. It is a little bit odd, now that I think about it, that the writing in the ruins tells the story of their king saving them, which presumably happened at the same time that the ruins were wrecked. So, like, people have to have gone back and put that writing there, but I suppose there's no reason they couldn't. King saved all from waves. And then we get to some of the ones that are not clearly translated. King defeated something alone. Something joined king in a day. King called something beings. King is hope and future. The great king something. And those were all 4 different somethings. They were different symbols. Bulbapedia has a section below that titled Interpretation. On the first floor, the inscriptions talk about a brave king who fought hatred and pursued peace. I'm going to skip over some of this. The relic crown presumably is in the king's final resting place. Follow the primes and we get there. Shine light or act strong if agreed. That's where I use flash or strength. I guess I glossed over that earlier. And here we go. The final symbol, blank, the thing that seems to represent the king's name. I'm saying blank because I don't have a way to say it. It is represented in Getsus's documents in one way. So, long story short, Getsus has documents, I guess in black 2, white 2, probably. Yeah, okay, that's how it's been translated. There are some Getsus's documents in black 2 and white 2 that have given the key to translating some of the symbols except a few. But because some of the symbols are represented by unknown characters, but we know how many characters in various game languages. Apparently, the one that stands in for the king's name is speculated to mean Harmonia, which of course is a name shared by both N and Getsus, as it has 5 characters in Japanese, 5 in Korean, 8 in English, French, and Italian, and 7 in Spanish. This is supported by how N has the powers. I'm quoting Bulbapedia, obviously. This is supported by how N has the powers to see the future. I don't remember him having that one, but okay. And talk to both humans and Pokemon, which is Zenzelin, that sage who is cold all the time, remarks may have been passed to the ancient king's descendants. Okay, so there's more Abyssal Ruins lore in black 2 and white 2. It's one thing I'm getting from this. But also, the king's name may have been that of Getsus and N. Getsus and N may be descended from royalty, Or at least one of them. Of course, the games play kind of fast and loose about whether N is Ghetsis' son at all. And it would be kind of like Ghetsis to... Ghetsis, who certainly does not have special powers or anything special to his character, it certainly would be like him to adopt the name of ancient royalty that he studied and also find their descendant and raise that descendant as his own. So, I mean, N does have a certain resemblance to Ghetsis physically. It's all pretty ambiguous. It's kind of nice. I like a little bit of ambiguity. As for the other mystery characters, Bulbapedia says there is currently no leading hypothesis as to what these symbols stand for, though it could be a Pokemon's name. No, it could not be a Pokemon's name, as the number of letters in Spanish and English versions are different, as no Pokemon that existed as of Generation 5 has a Spanish name different from its English name. If only the Japanese version's representation is taken into account, then possible interpretations that are 4 characters long and relate to the ancient hero include humans, Reshiram, Zekrom, Kyurem, and Pokemon. King defeated something alone. Something joined King in a day. King called something beings. There could be ancient dragons worked into there. There could be Pokemon worked into there. But the one thing that Bulbapedia does clearly say is speculated is the Great King Harmonia. And so again, is Ghetsis descended from this legendary king who did a heroic act and saved his people? Or Ghetsis and N both descended from him? Only Ghetsis? Could be only N. Like I said, it'd be like Ghetsis to fake it. Who's to say? But this is the one right here, the Great King Harmonia, if that is his name. I talked about how Challenger's Cave is a cool little bit of lore that's kind of open-ended, open to interpretation. Might just be symbolic, might not. Abyssal Ruins really doubles down on that kind of approach to lore. And I like it still. It's good stuff. And I got me the Relic Crown. I could sell that for a lot of money, no doubt, but I'm not going to. We'll make that a keepsake. I could go down and collect more items, but I'm just gonna hang out here. Actually, well, I could read some of the other symbols if I had enough steps left, but I can't actually read them anyway. I'd have to just defer to Bulbapedia. Take a little shortcut back to the Pokemon Center. And then there's one last thing to do in this playthrough. But I am glad I looked up the Abyssal Ruins and found that there was actually a bunch more to explore after I just fumbled around for a while. And hey, I think it's appropriate that I keep the Relic Crown as a keepsake, because I do have a fairly regal team here, with the White Dragon of Truth, Reshiram, and the most regal starter Pokemon, the royalty-inspired Serperior. Many such themes in this game, huh? But with that said, maybe there's more to think about. Maybe that trip to the Abyssal Ruins leaves a bunch more to think about in terms of the themes of this story and how some characters fit into it. And how the region design and the characters play into kingly stories in this otherwise very America-inspired region. It's kind of interesting, huh? But there's one place I haven't gone yet. I said earlier that I got a bad vibe from this building right here. I think it would have been funnier in hindsight if I had just ignored it and acted like I accidentally missed it somehow, but can't go back and retcon my jokes now. But You know I can't leave this stone unturned. Let's see what's inside. Shall we? Oh. What's this? What an uncanny resemblance. It's surprising to meet another trainer who has intense eyes like you. Sorry, intense eyes like that Pokemon trainer. I don't know how I added the word you there. What's your name? ... Okay, I'll remember that. Black, nice to meet you. I'm Cynthia. I'm a Pokemon trainer too, like you. Oh, I know. I have an insatiable curiosity for researching Pokemon myths. I'm sure you know about Undella Town's abyssal ruins, right? I sure do. I'm staying here at my friend's villa so I can investigate them. In order to get to know each other better as Pokemon trainers, I would like our Pokemon to have a match. Would you care to be my opponent? Yes. Before I send out my Pokemon, my heart always begins to race. Interesting. My Pokemon, their Pokeballs are radiating a happy feeling. Are you the reason? What are you? Sadly, I knew about this interaction already the first time I played through this game. Because I remember, I've said before, I watched Marilyn play through it in Japanese before the games even came out in North America. It was a different time. But also, I just had fewer qualms then about looking things up online before a playthrough. Really, it was Gen 6 where I started to intentionally do less of that. But this must have been really something for players who didn't know was coming to just be exploring the post game, checking out this cozy seaside town that they found, and wander into this villa, and immediately Cynthia jump scare. You don't even have to go up and talk to her. She starts the conversation as soon as you walk in. I mean, I think I know because I've seen people post about it online. A lot of people were kind of jump scared by that one. It would have been a cool thing, I think, to not know about going in. Unfortunately, that wasn't my own experience. But hey, if you have a memory of being surprised by Cynthia in here, let me know in the comments. Anyway, this is +2, I think. I know I'm burned, but I have things for that. Honestly, the double team is the bigger issue, but not really because Leech Seed Chip goes on forever. Spiritomb has no weaknesses in this game unless you use Foresight or Odor Sleuth into it, so I didn't really have a better idea than throwing my setup mode at it. Instead of trying to overpower... I mean, I guess I could have tried to overpower it with Scarlet Town or something, but now that I know it has Will-O-Wisp, it's just as well that I didn't. So many end of turn effects, though. Alright, this is +4. I've been slacking on the count, but fortunately, battle just started. I can count by PP. What if this has Hex? No, I hope not. Because that would do some damage into a status condition, for sure. I'm not boosting special defense. +5. Shadow Ball, okay. That still did a fair bit. It's not the end of the world, I don't think. I think we take another Shadow Ball. Let's get to +6. Okay. Let's go ahead and shamelessly heal now, though. I mean, this is Cynthia. Gotta do what we gotta do. Now, I don't know if I want to click Leaf Blades into this, right? It's set up a bunch of double teams. Maybe I save the PP. and just play this the slow way. I mean, I have PP restoring items. And I land the first one. Okay. That'll work. 5 Pokemon left. Goodbye, Spiritomb. This is an odd choice for the next one, but cool sprite. Really did become the superior show toward the end of the playthrough, huh? But I'm not complaining. It is, after all, my favorite starter in the whole series, as I've been saying for quite a few months now. Braviary is a bit more threatening than Melodic, but +6 attack, +6 defense. Even if it takes this, then what? That did quite a bit of damage considering +6 defense, but yeah, no KO. Can knock it out here. Electros. Funny Pokemon for Cynthia to pick up in Unova. I'm not complaining. Funny Pokemon overall. There it goes. I guess this is how Toronto got to such a high level compared to the rest of the team, huh? Lucario. This could maybe take a Leaf Blade. I could see it. So she has Braviary and Electros. She's not brought... Yeah, it does. Roserade and Gastrodon / Togekiss from her Sinnoh team. Guess if you gotta make room for a couple of new Pokemon, those are ones to drop. Wondered whether we'd see an extreme speed here. Don't know if it knows it. We don't see one either way. Gastrodon / Togekiss is kind of a wishy-washy spot anyway because it's different in different Sinnoh games, but poor Roserade left out so that Electros can shine. Sacrificing for the greater good, I suppose. Ooh, the Garchomp is faster. I'm used to my superior being faster than everything. If she had a mouse hold, we'd probably outspeed that, but she missed a Stone Edge, so it's fine. Stone Edge has that boosted crit rate too. If she'd landed, that could have been well, I'd have 5 other Pokemon, but it could have been rough for Toronto. There we go, the dreaded post-game Cynthia battle that surprised so many people in Black and White. Superior sweep, and that's why Superior is the best starter in the whole series. That's the tip of the iceberg. We've scratched the surface of why Superior is the best starter in the whole series. I don't even have access to Contrary in this playthrough. Didn't need it. That was beyond my expectation. What an exceptional battle. You certainly bear a resemblance to that trainer who faced Giratina. Platinum Cannon. Oh, pardon me. I was just thinking out loud. I love being here in spring and summer. I can't stay all year because there's so much to investigate in Sinnoh as well. You're a great trainer, and it would make me happy to see you again sometime. Oh, I should have checked whether she has more dialogue. Well, I wouldn't bet on... Oh, Caitlin's visiting. I did not know that was going to happen. This is not an intentional bit. To live their lives to the fullest, people in Pokemon need the chance to throw themselves into a battle against the fiercest opposition. You want to battle me again right now? No, I'm good. You're a little disappointed. We just battled like a minute ago. It's so plain to me that your light can shine brighter this. How is she gonna talk to me like that when I just swept her with my starter Pokemon? And then I come back like 1 minute later and she's like, oh, it's so disappointing that you won't battle me. You can do better than this. I guess that's the mindset you need to become the champion, but I think she could afford to chill a bit. Having no psychic powers at all is better than having psychic powers you can't control. Implied Caitlyn lore. There was a reason she couldn't battle in her first appearances back in Platinum, Heart Gold, and Soul Silver. Are you serious? We could battle again right now. I don't think the viewers need that, though. Besides, it's a Unova region. This bright, beautiful place. With such a variety of people, Pokemon, and environments all together in harmony. I got cherry blossoms to watch and stuff. I can't be battling Cynthia every couple minutes. I'm just gonna hang out here. There's still more to explore in Unova, of course. Someone else is gonna have to deal with Kyurem. I didn't manage that one. Kind of a weird, creepy gray dragon over in the northeast of the region, but it was a little much for me. Give it a couple of years or so, I'm sure someone can handle it. That was the end of Pokemon Black. You actually watched all of this. Thanks for sticking around through that. I've had a lot of fun with this one. On to the next thing after this, huh?